You didn't know there's a place where Kentucky football and basketball fans unite. Welcome to Big Blue Breakdown. Whether you bleed blue or just love a good game, we've got the latest stories, hottest takes, and a whole lot of hometown pride. Hit play and join the conversation. This is your home for all things Kentucky sports.
All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome into the Big Blue Breakdown. This is episode 52 here on the podcast. I'm your host, Jackson Thurman. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this one. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, turn on those notifications so when we post a video like this or go live, you know immediately. Also, follow us on social media, guys. We post a lot of clips on there, post a lot of polls like what do you guys think? Like, do you choose this or this? And like some just other like cool things that we do with graphics and stuff to give out extra content other than doing videos like this. But go follow us on there. Big Blue underscore it's Big Blue underscore breakdown, I'm pretty sure, on all of these social medias. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this one. Again, go follow us there. And then follow us also on Spotify. It really, really would help us out there as well. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this one. And on today's episode, we're going to be talking about schedule. Well, let me preface this. What does what does it do if Kentucky, what if Kentucky wins? Like, you see the title of this video and everything. What if Kentucky wins? If Kentucky wins, we're going to be looking at their schedule a little bit differently. I'm going to go into their schedule, right? We're going to be talking about fans. We're going to talk about different aspects of if they win. How does that positively affect it in the schedule, in the fans, and then maybe kind of outside of if Kentucky wins a little bit, if they do, just how it looks. Because, if you get a win against a top 25 team in Ole Miss, if you win, you win. Who puts, you're not going to put nearly as much into that, how it looks, as if you don't win and then you look pretty good. You see where I am coming from there. But before we jump into anything, we're going to go ahead and give a quick word over to our sponsor at W. Guys, they have one of the best energy drinks I have ever had in my life. I have it for every workout. Make sure to use code BIGBLUE10 to get 10% off every single order that you place. They have really good shakers, and they have really, really good energy drinks. When you get a whole tub, I've used mine for a little over a month now, and I still haven't ran out. I'm going to have to buy me some more, though, here soon. But it's been a great experience with them. Make sure to use code BIGBLUE10 to get 10% off every single order. And we're going to give a quick word to them, and we'll be right back here on the Big Blue Breakdown. Hello, everybody. We wanted to take a break in this episode to tell you about our friends over at W Energy. W is a clean energy drink that is made to give you focus with no crash, jitters, or angst like any other energy drink. Some facts about W. Number one, it's zero sugar, artificial colors, or dyes, or hidden ingredients. It is also gluten-free. Number two, all flavors are unique and custom made by W. You'll never taste anything like a W drink. Number three, the drinks are $1 or less, guys. That is cheaper than Starbucks or any canned drink. Lastly, it is made in the U.S. It is close to home. Guys, if you guys are looking forward to going to a Kentucky football game or Kentucky basketball game and you need some energy, get W. W is the perfect thing for you working out and you need some energy. You need W. You need W throughout the day. It is for you. Use promo code BIGBLUE10 to get 10% off every single order. Guys, it not only just helps you guys be able to have a clean energy drink that you can use all the time with the tubs that they give you. It helps me and it helps the channel keep growing. And with you guys, if you guys do that, it helps us post more content and helps them, guys. So it's a win-win-win for everybody. But thank you guys so much for your time here. Please go check out W. Check out their website. And when you are about to purchase something, use promo code BIGBLUE10 to get 10% off your order. All right, welcome in, everybody. Well, welcome back, everybody. Let's go ahead and jump into the topic of today's episode. What if Kentucky gets an upset win again over the Ole Miss Rebels this Saturday? Let's go ahead and first look how will this kind of change how we look at the schedule. I had us going 6-6, but I'm talking the majority of the fans and the majority of the people just around college football and really their thoughts going into it. And then does this mean that we would hit the over on the 4.5? Like, let's look at that. Let's really look at all of it. I'm not really looking at my perspective here, even though I'm going to give my opinion here. Just what trying to give you guys the what would be the overall vibe around this team with their schedule moving forward if Kentucky were to beat the Ole Miss Rebels this Saturday. So, obviously, you would be 2-0 to start the year. The Kentucky already beat the Toledo Rockets. They are 1-0. Guys, I know people are hating on the Cats right now on it being like a 8-point game to end it, but guys, we won that game by 15 points. Just let everybody know. I know that's not terribly much better, but Toledo's a very solid team. And yes, we did struggle, but it was really in only one aspect. So I think some people are overreacting and really overhating on us. Now, that this can still be their opinion from the offseason coming in, so I can understand that. But people that were high on us and then they lower their expectations after that game, I don't really get it. But anyways, the Cats have a win there. Guys, we are 1,000. We have not lost the game, and people are acting like we are, 1-9 right now. We are 1-0 going into a very, very important game in Ole Miss, September 6th, this Saturday, 3:30 ABC. It's going to be I think we have, Greg, we have some, this game is going to be very big, nationally televised. That's what I'm trying to say. This is a big game, and this is a big game for the rest of the schedule as we get into this year. So if you beat Ole Miss, to me, you're going to start the season out 3-0, right? To me, you have a very, very good shot at beating Eastern Michigan. To me, you would automatically, if you beat Ole Miss, automatically have 4 wins. You just go ahead and throw Tennessee Tech and Eastern Michigan in there. You start the year off 4-0. If you beat Ole Miss as well, if you beat them, to me, at least in my opinion here, you have a very, very good shot at beating Vanderbilt. So that means, to me, there are 5, after, let's say we beat Ole Miss, as been prefacing here, it's 2 wins right there. I see 3 very, very probable wins after a win against Ole Miss, and if we were to beat Ole Miss. I just want to say this. If we beat Ole Miss, this sets us up in such a good position to make a bowl game. So you're telling me we have, at least in my opinion here, I think most people would agree with this here, is if you beat Ole Miss, you're gonna have a really, really good shot at beating Eastern Michigan, Tennessee Tech, and then probably the next worst SEC team on our schedule, or the worst SEC team on our schedule is Vanderbilt, right? And obviously it's going to be kind of the story around them as well as much as us. But a lot of people liked us even before, or did like us even before an Ole Miss win. So why not after, if we end up getting this win over Ole Miss? To me, you win this game, you have a probability. I said those are 2 different words. You're very, very inclined here to win 5 games. Very, very inclined to win 5 games. And that would be over the preseason expectations of 4.5. So many people took the under there. And I know if we win this game, we can lose to Vandy. We can still go, 4-8 like last year. But if you beat Ole Miss, I just don't see it. Ole Miss is too good of a team to beat. And I want to say this. It's not like last year, guys. We're not going into this game 2-2. We're going into this game 1-0. And then we got an Eastern Michigan game after Ole Miss here. So I see a very, very good shot at hitting the over if you beat Ole Miss. So I kind of have 5 wins in my mind if you beat Ole Miss. Kind of, I don't want to say set in stone, but I think set in stone if you beat Ole Miss, because I just don't love Vandy this year. I don't think they're that great, and it's a very winnable game for the Cats, especially if you have a team that is able to beat a team like Ole Miss. I see 5 probable wins right there. So I see us hitting the over if Kentucky beats Ole Miss. Other games that become very, very intriguing after that, that would set up an absolute showdown at South Carolina, right? That would set up an absolute showdown at South Carolina. At this point in time, if Kentucky beats, what is Ole Miss ranked right now? Let's see. What is Ole Miss ranked at? I think it's 20, 21, 22. It's in the 20s. I know that for a fact. Let's see here. They are 20. They are 20. You beat 20th ranked Ole Miss at home, right? And I'll get into how it looks in a little bit, because that may vary if you get into the top 25. But at least to me, no matter how you win this game, right? You win this game, you beat Eastern Michigan. I see after that Eastern Michigan game, if we handle our business there, and if we've already beat Ole Miss, we make it into the top 25. That would set up a top 25 showdown going into South Carolina with, as of right now, a South Carolina team that is in the top 10. I want to see who would South Carolina be playing up into that point. It would be, let's see here, up into that point before they play us. And this, again, this is a big what if. I am not saying Kentucky is going to be Ole Miss this week, even though I've already predicted that, so I kind of am. But what I'm saying is I'm not guaranteeing this as a win for sure, because Ole Miss is a very, very good roster. They probably have a better roster than the Cats right now. But I'm saying if we were to pull off the upset, how does the schedule look? What is our view on the schedule? And let's see South Carolina before us, right? They are obviously 1-0, top 10 in the country right now. Play South Carolina State. This upcoming week, they'll get a win there. Now, okay, so they play Vandy at home. I think they win that game, even though that's going to be kind of a tougher test for any team. Like I'm saying Vandy here. I think they get that win there. And then it's going to be a very, very tough matchup between South Carolina and Missouri. So they could be there. I predicted South Carolina to beat Missouri, even though that's going to be a showdown now with how good Bo Pribula looked in their opener. But that's all really going to boil down to how good Missouri plays against Kansas this upcoming week. So there is I want to say a 70% chance that South Carolina comes into this game. If Kentucky beats Ole Miss, obviously Kentucky isn't affecting South Carolina's schedule right now if they beat Ole Miss, but if Kentucky beats Ole Miss, there's a 70% chance probability, at least to me, that these two teams would be ranked, obviously, and the South Carolina Gamecocks would be 4-0 heading into that game. And I know Mark Stoops is historically terrible after bye weeks. Historically terrible. But you do get an extra week to prepare for South Carolina. At that point, you're 3-0. You're riding a high horse here. You've got a chance to go into South Carolina and beat in this reality here. And it's very much a real possibility. In this reality here, you are going into this place 3-0. Would that be right? Toledo, Ole Miss, Eastern Michigan. You're going in there with a top 25. At least to me, I think you would have a top 25. You would be in the top 25 at this point, at least receiving an absolute ton of votes to get in. So you're high up on your horse going in South Carolina, a top 10 South Carolina team at this point, 4-0 with a big win over Missouri, and they're 2-0 in the conference. You're 1-0 in the conference. Showdown. And that's what Kentucky fans, at least in my mind, you have to want. Diving into Kentucky fans now, You have to want just to be in a cool position here. Would this give game day attraction? Like, that's how big this Ole Miss game is if Kentucky wins. That's how important this game is if Kentucky wins. To me, you're going into this year with the mindset it's going to be tough for Kentucky to get to 5 wins. You beat Ole Miss. You're playing your 4th game of the year. You're 3-0 in the top 25 on the road at South Carolina, a top 10 team in the country. I don't know what else Kentucky fans want going into this year more than that type of game and that type of, man, like we're in a good spot here. Really, no matter what, if we win this game, it just brings some excitement. And speaking of fans here, it would put them in such a good position. Okay, let's jump back on this train. It's going to make home games so much harder for every other team that comes into this place. We're going to be rallying around Coach Shoops here, and I have us going 6-6. I think that's the reality of this team here, and I think that's not the floor or the ceiling to me. That is just kind of like that middle ground there. But man, would it be that would be absolutely awesome to be going into that South Carolina game 3-0, ranked in the top 25 against a top 10 South Carolina team. Okay, there's not much more that the fans could want right there. And that's how big, guys. I just want to say this again. You win this game here. To me, you start off the year 3-0 because of that Eastern Michigan game. You are 2 games away. 2. And you have 9 more games after that. You are 2 games away from going above the preseason expectations at 4.5. And you are only 3 games away out of 9 to make a bowl game again. And that to fans is surpassing expectations by 1 million this year. By most fans. Not in my account, but by 1 million in most fans' eyes. That's how big this Ole Miss game is, guys. Because it sets us up. And the reason that I say, what if Kentucky wins, is because there's a real chance that Kentucky can win. I'm going to dive into this game. I'm going to dive into the history of this game. It's been such a close contest every single year we have played the Rebs. It has been so close. Every single year we have played them, it has been close. We get them at home. I don't think they're as good as they were last year, and we beat them on the road, and I think we're better than we were last year, and we were terrible last year. We get them at home this year. Looking at more of the fan side here, this would break a streak at home that has been terrible. I think since 2023, Kentucky has won a SEC home game. 2023 against Florida. That would break that. That would give fans something to get riled up about. You beat a top 25 team. And again, you are now, I'm counting Eastern Michigan as a win, and I'm counting Tennessee Tech as a win. Really, you only need 1 game in there to beat preseason expectations if you beat Ole Miss. And then you get the media hype. You get the media attention for that South Carolina game. How fun would that be for the fans to be going into that South Carolina game ranked, guys? How fun would that be? And it all boils down to how big this Ole Miss game is. And this is the what if Kentucky wins type of aspect here. I'm not saying if we win this game, it's not going to change. It's, to me, we're not looking at a playoff spot, but we are now, at least to me, if we win this game, there is a 65% chance that we make a bowl game, and that surpasses every fan's expectations by 1 million. That surpasses every fan's expectations by 1 million. Okay. The fans in this one are going to be a very, very vital part in this game. You could see this place explode if Kentucky wins here. Absolutely explode if the Cats win this one. With the preseason expectations making it into the top 25, I think if there's going to be fans that don't jump on board if we beat Ole Miss. I want to say 75% of them will if Kentucky wins. Now jumping into how it looks. I'm not saying a loss here and how it looks. I'm saying a win here and how it looks. If it's close, there's going to be a lot of fans that jump on. If we look really, really good and we win by double digits, every fan should be on, not all of them, I'd say 90% of them are on board. And then that just makes you even more excited for the rest of the season. It really does. It really does. And then you look at it, right? You get Florida at home. That could be another big bit. You get Tech. Like, imagine this. Imagine we are, let's say we are 3-2 going into that Texas game. That's a big game. We've showed that, like, let's say we play with Texas and we play with Georgia pretty well. That's a big game that we can win there at home. Same thing with Tennessee. And then realistically, you're looking at, Kentucky has a shot against Tennessee. Kentucky has a shot against Florida. Kentucky has a shot against, like, you know what I mean? That's how big this game is, and that is like my kind of what if Kentucky wins. Well, if Kentucky wins, most of the fans, I believe, will be on board, especially, I would say 75% of the fans are going to be on board if we win, no matter how it looks. I'd say about 90% of the fans are really going to jump on board if we win by double digits. The fans will affect us moving forward in a positive way if we were to win this game with some really, really good crowds, really, really good games. And this sets up an absolute showdown for the fans to love and just be like, okay, we're back in a good position here. And we got a chance to make a bowl game and then kind of get really, really excited about the next coming of years with a season that you were projected to possibly win 4 games and you make it to a bowl game. And that is what if. That is what if Kentucky wins. That is how big this game is, guys. I just want to kind of break down, like, what if Kentucky wins? What does that look like for the fans mostly, and how does that kind of change our view on the rest of the schedule? But thank you guys so much for tuning in to episode number 52 here on the Big Blue Breakdown. Make sure to go check us out on TikTok, X, Instagram. Go follow us there. Make sure you're missing extra content on those platforms if you don't go follow us there. Guys, thank you guys so much for tuning into this one. Make sure to subscribe. We were trying to hit 500 subscribers, but it means a lot for you guys to tune into this one. Big game coming up, guys. I just broke how big of a game it is down here. Got a very, very special guest coming on tomorrow in Bleed Blue Network. Paul from Bleed Blue Network. We're going to be talking this game. We're going to be breaking down like how our Cats look and just talking some Kentucky football, obviously specifically this game, but just want to get his thoughts on the Cats going into this game, what he believes will happen and stuff. And then Friday, I will be fully breaking the Cats down and giving my predictions, really diving into Ole Miss so you guys know everything about them, where we line up good, where we line up bad, and how the realistic shot does Kentucky have to win this game. And then Saturday morning, we will do our show like we have started with Coffee Before College Football, talking every game around the SEC specifically and breaking down those games, like the big games in the SEC and some just maybe overall big games, just some big storylines, and then probably be talking a lot about the Kentucky game. But thank you guys so much for tuning in this one. Again, going to be just talking more about this game tomorrow, a little bit more in depth in the actual game, and then fully diving into it Friday, breaking it all down, telling you what you guys need to know, my preview and prediction, going around basically when I break down when I predict other games, it's going to be in the SEC 95% of the time. It would be one game out of those that I would do another team because I mean Kentucky's in the SEC. That's what affects us the most. So I'm maybe diving into those teams. If it's like Ohio State, Penn State, I'll predict that like Friday morning. Saturday morning, like the SEC games, but that'll probably be only like one game a week that is out of the SEC that I will be talking about. Obviously, I give my top 25 and stuff like that, but that and one game is the only thing outside the SEC. I just want to let you guys know that. We're going to be broadcasting with Kaz Clay for the Ole Miss game. Make sure to tune in, guys. Again, this is such a big game. I would love for you guys to be there so we can hopefully experience a very, very big win for the Cats there together. But again, thank you guys so much for tuning into this one. Please tune in tomorrow. Very big one. Please tune in Friday. Please tune in Saturday. Please tune in Sunday. Going to be going down. Going to be going and talking about the Kentucky game. We may have I might do it Saturday night for the Kentucky game, like a review, and then Sunday we'll be reviewing all the SEC games, talking about all that, obviously, and then my power rankings for the SEC, and then my top 25. So thank you guys so much for tuning in to this one, and as always, go Cats. This happens every time. Here we go. Second try here, and as always, go Cats. See you guys later.